It's been, I think, 3 years now that I've been cooking lunch every day for our family. And this all started when
A long time ago.
long time ago,
In a galaxy
little
far, far away.
Yes, little Sume had ramen noodles for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then I was very, very sick, as you can imagine. And that was when I questioned, like,
Maybe you shouldn't do
yeah,
that.
I shouldn't do that. It was like our family was ordering in food basically like every day.
Twice a day.
Maybe even twice
When
a
the
day.
pandemic hit, we were getting
hit.
Thai and sushi, and sushi is actually pretty healthy.
Yeah.
But generally just not cooking.
Yeah, we were not really cooking at all. And we were having a big party, but that was when I started thinking about health and cooking, and initially I was looking up recipes, and my cooking was not good at all. You can test, like, it was not the greatest, but I kept doing it. I kept learning, and now I would say I'm much more experienced.
Yeah.
And so I think, yeah, I don't know. That was something that I think has just been a big part of my life now, that I can't really imagine still like ordering in all the time.
Well, there were a lot of lessons that came from that. Mm-hmm. You had to learn it the hard way. I did not, because I got to learn from your experience. Uh-huh. But our whole family learned lessons from that. We all hopped on the wagon eventually. But when you started cooking healthy food, and you have this thing where if you learn something and this is good for people, you just start sharing it with everybody, and you just started cooking lunch for everybody.
I mean, I didn't want to push you guys and be like, why aren't you eating healthy? Because usually that doesn't actually do anything.
Doesn't help.
But I was just trying to make it like, how can I make it as easy as possible for you guys to start eating healthy? Oh, if there's healthy food in front of you and it would take extra effort to go and get something unhealthy, you're much more likely to actually
Humans'
eat that
natural state is to be lazy. And if there is food in front of me,
leverage the laziness.
Yes. and just eat the food, Isla. If there's food in front of me, I'm more likely to eat it than to make my own food. Yeah.
Well, recently you started getting into cooking. So how has that been for you?
My journey with cooking. My short journey, because I'm starting my journey with cooking. Though I think I've managed to make some pretty.
For a while.
I've managed to make some pretty good ground. I recently started actually really getting into cooking and cooking on my own, and so I think there were a lot of things that sparked my inspiration. Something that really does a great job of sparking my inspiration is having an example to look at. And since you are making a lot of really cool food, I started getting more into that. And another thing that sparked my inspiration is a few of the YouTube channels I was watching. There's something about cooking YouTube channels and cooking videos that is just soothing to the soul.
It really is.
It is. Yeah. And there's something about actually cooking yourself that is really soothing to the soul.
Yeah.
Not to be over dramatic here, but some way or another, I started cooking more. Mm-hmm. And first it was cooking with you, helping cook lunch sometimes. Mm-hmm. And then it was, sometimes I would cook dinner. And I think one time I was cooking dinner with Mommy, and I had a few ideas, and I just took charge. and Mommy was very, very patient with me. She just went along and let me boss her around. And a few times I really felt the inspiration of cooking. Mm-hmm. And then I just kept getting more into it, and I found this YouTube channel called Honey Jubu. She's anonymous. That's not her actual name. But and she would make this beautiful food, and also you would make some really beautiful food. And
You had habituated to my food, though.
I had. I'm sorry. But
okay.
I just saw it, and I was just totally inspired. So now I try and make dinner a few days a week, and I want to make all these different side dishes. Like I'll make soup, and then I'll make this chicken, and then I'll make these rice balls, and it's really, really, really fun, and it's very, very wholesome, and it kind of makes me step away from whatever's going on, and just and it also helps me build my intuition with healthy cooking.
Yeah.
Because I think I have prided myself in being able to build that intuition pretty quickly, thanks to you and some of my YouTube examples.
Yeah.
And it's been a really, really fun journey, and I'm glad I didn't have to learn it the hard way.
Well, I think we can talk a little bit about why this is necessary, because we are going through a time of, an obesity epidemic, and a lot of people are very confused about health, especially because if as a health influencer, you have to find a niche, which is oftentimes becoming very zealot about a certain health prescription of like, you need to eat more of this, or you need to stop
drink
eating
ginger juice.
Yeah, it's like whatever it may be, because if you're just giving like standard common sense health advice, like you can find that anywhere. So I think it's very difficult for people to navigate that. And I really don't want to give health advice at all. I think that's very counterproductive. But I think that it is a time for us to evaluate, like, cooking as a very essential skill for kids to learn, not just for health benefits, but because it is something where you save a lot of money doing that.
Oh yeah.
And it's
it's also, like I said, it is soothing to the soul.
Well, it's
it
something
is very
that humans have done for hundreds, thousands of years. It's like it's just very natural. It's participating in something that's like just the fundamentals of life.
Yeah,
right?
and getting a little bit philosophical here, but food is kind of like the universal love language. No matter where you are, no matter who you are, we all eat food, or else you are dead. And because of that, you can express your love through making food, making really good food. And that's just it. That's actually really powerful. I think people might not even realize, or a lot of people might underestimate that.
Yeah.
And it's something that is really enjoyable and really powerful is healthy cooking. And another thing about cooking is that generally, almost all of the time when you're cooking, it's probably on average going to be healthier and better for you than going to a restaurant, because you know everything that you're putting in your food, and you are putting your food inside you. Another thing that I realized just when you started cooking is that food is also something that contributes a huge deal to your overall health. Like,
I mean, I noticed when I was in third grade, around that time, like I would just constantly have headaches, I would constantly have stomach aches, and it was just like, I just thought that was normal. Like, you're just supposed to constantly be sick all the time.
No,
and then after,
no.
I'm like, actually, no, that's not normal.
Yeah, well, it's like energy levels, and I am actually 50, but I am just amazing. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding. But I'm not 50.
Now buy this de-wrinkle cream.
But a lot of what comes down to health is like, maybe for skin, it's like skin products. You got to find the perfect lotion and de-wrinkle cream and stuff like that.
As you can see, our lights are green to symbolize the green vegetables.
The green vegetables. The lights are green to symbolize health, because vegetables are green.
The green Skittles.
No, not the
Yep.
green Skittles. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
Well,
yeah.
I do think it's a great learning experience for kids also because it's like there's this whole concept of life school, of like learning from life experiences. And it is something that if you're just more engaged in that process and you're also like buying that food, you're engaged in budgeting. It's like, how much money are we spending on food? And there's just like so many different learning opportunities that I think can come from that, especially just building those good habits early is so much easier than trying to correct them or try to build them later, right? It's like as a kid, if you get into a habit of cooking and eating healthy, then you're just gonna keep doing that naturally. Like it just becomes a habit.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Not only does it help with your health levels in the short term, it's also just in terms of if you think about the most wholesome natural things, cooking is at the top of the list. Food is at the top of the list.
Yeah.
Everyone always, anyone, anything eats food. And it is so natural and
Except
wholesome.
inanimate objects.
Yeah.
Any living thing.
Right.
Eats food.
Any living thing. Any living thing.
Actually,
eats
except
food.
plants don't eat food. Well,
Gets food from
all
the sun.
humans eat food.
All animals
And
eat food.
animals, yes.
Anyway, that but because of that, it kind of brings you back to, for me, it helps as kind of like a meditation of whatever worries is going on. I can come back to cooking and just cook. Like I sound like I'm acting like I'm an expert here. I've only been really cooking a lot for a short amount of time. But
you were always like, you would be able to do things in the kitchen, but
yeah.
you were like, you'd be able to make some eggs or
when I was
cut
5,
apple,
I was so proud of myself because I could cook a pizza, and by that I mean I could stick a Trader Joe's pizza in the microwave.
Well, there you go.
There you go. But even those small things, I think, like you said, it's also a great way to engage little kids in having an activity and feeling not just cooking but also cleaning and having something where they feel like they're doing something for the family.
Definitely. Well, also just helping them care about health.
Yeah.
Because if you're going through that process, like your actions say to yourself, like, I care about health. And therefore, like, just I think building those habits and values early on is really important.